Some of you may be wondering why you see the governors from each one of these states so much, and you see them on TV constantly pleading for medical equipment, medical supplies, and they're constantly talking about the shortage that they're facing. Well, there's a reason for that. Behind the scenes, many people don't realize that Trump is refusing to help the states with medical supplies. And this is why the governors are so vocal out here. So this came out on slate.com, March 23rd, 2020. Governors beg for medical supplies as Trump refuses to act. On Monday, New York Governor Andrew Cuomo delivered his daily CV press conference and issued what has now become a standard in treaty, pleading for the federal government to help supply the states with necessary medical equipment by utilizing the Defense Production Act to order businesses to start ramping up production of critical supplies. So, this is why you are seeing them constantly. New York has probably been the strongest. Other governors have been also asking for more ventilators because there are not enough in the US to handle the amount of people with CV. Democratic leaders and officials, from state minority leader Chuck Schumer to Democratic presidential candidate Bernie Sanders to former presidential candidate Hillary Clinton to Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, have all pleaded with the Trump administration to begin using the act to supply states and cities with badly needed masks, ventilators, and other critical equipment as inventory is being used up by an influx of CV patients that is only growing by the day. And we definitely know that. Cuomo request on Monday offered a clear and cogent explanation for why it is necessary for President Donald Trump to invoke the Korean War Era Act, which allows him to order production of vital goods during national emergencies. In the absence of federal command and coordination, states have been pitted against one another in bidding wars for the medical products of a limited number of suppliers, as Cuomo said. This is ad hoc. I'm competing with other states. I'm bidding up other states on prices because you have manufacturers who sit there and California offers them $4 and they say, well, California offered $4. I offer $5. Another state calls in and offers $6. It's not the way to do it. I was speaking to Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker yesterday about this. Why are we competing? Let the federal government put in place the Federal Defense Production Act. It does not nationalize any industry. All it does is says to a factory, you must produce this quantity. That's all it does. Wow. The Federal Defense Production Act just says you can tell a company, a manufacturer, this many by this date. Yes, it is an assertion of government power on private sector companies. Yes, but so what? This is a national emergency, and you're paying the private sector company. They're going to produce a good and they're going to get paid. And by the way, they're going to get paid handsomely. You can't continue to do these supplies on an ad hoc basis. Trump, who had to personally order DPA to go into effect, sent his own message to Pritzker and other desperate governors on Sunday in response to those DPA requests. So this is the tweet that Trump sent out at JB Pritzker, governor of Illinois, and a very small group of concerned other governors, together with fake news at CNN and Comcast. MSDNC should not be blaming the federal government for their own shortcomings. We are there to back you up should you fail, and always will be. This is the tweet Trump sent out. So the tweet didn't say, no, we are going to step up and help. We are going to make sure you got the necessary things to help the American public. Nope. No, he took offense to it. This tweet went out March 22nd, 2020 at 12:14 p.m. That's how he responded to these governors. Trump's refusal to take on the obligation to solve the medical supply crisis is in line with his personal history and entire response to the current pandemic, including his statement earlier this month that I don't take responsibility at all for the administration's early testing failures that helped the disease spread unchecked around the country. So, what Trump is saying, the slow response from him and his administration, he does not take any responsibility for that. Yet, Trump, through his DPA powers, is currently the only person who can take on the responsibility for bolstering an about to collapse healthcare system to protect untold number of lives of people in this country. What is he waiting for exactly? The response to Pritzker suggests he's waiting for states to fail. That is for widespread shortages of ventilators to lead to rationing that leads to mass death, as has already happened in Italy, before swooping in to play the hero and back you up. Yeah, that's pretty lame when people do that. But that was the only latest in a series of evasions, lies, and changing positions Trump has offered around the question of using DPA powers. On Wednesday, he said he was invoking the DPA, but did not do anything to put it into action. Afterwards, he said he would only actually utilize it in the worst case scenario. By Friday, after facing a series of questions during the daily CV task force press conference about why he hadn't issued DPA orders, as the conditions in New York have headed towards a worst case scenario, Trump suggested that he was already taking DPA actions. When we need something because of the act, when we need something, we ordered something, he told reporters. The reporters then asked the president if he had actually directed any companies to start making ventilators or masks. I have, Trump said. I have, yes. The reporter then asked the obvious follow up question, given there has been no announcement about any DPA orders whatsoever. How many? A lot, Trump said. A lot. and they're making a lot of ventilators and they're making a lot of masks. By his press conference on Sunday, Trump all but admitted that this was a lie. Mm-mm-mm. People don't need to hear lies now. They need help. We don't need lies right now. Conceding that he hadn't used the act to direct companies to make emergency products and saying that some production had begun on a purely voluntary basis. Trump explained that he was ideologically opposed to using the DPA because it was socialism. Well, he's being political. When people are getting a highly contagious virus, they need help. They don't need you to be political, which doesn't work. This is what he said. This is what he said. Man, everybody in this country should be outraged at what he just said on Sunday. We're a country not based on nationalizing our business, Trump said. Call a person over in Venezuela, ask them how did nationalism of their businesses work out? Not too well. The concept of nationalizing our businesses is not a good concept. So he's being political during a time when a virus is spreading around the country. On Monday, the New York Times reported another apparent reason Trump has refused to utilize the DPA: corporate lobbying. As the Times reported, the U.S. Chamber of Commerce and the heads of the major corporations have lobbied the administration against using the act. They said the move could prove counterproductive, imposing red tape on companies precisely when they need flexibility to deal with closed borders and shuttered factories. Wow. Mm-mm-mm. So much for putting the American people first. What happened to America first? He's sure not practicing it now. He's worried more about political things than people catching this virus and can potentially die from it. He has put politics ahead of everything. Mm-mm-mm. Wow. Mm-mm-mm. No wonder why everything is still spreading with no end in sight. Look at the attitude of the leader of this country. The failure of leadership, the Times noted, is causing mass confusion among the industry that, again, could be helping to lessen an even greater looming crisis. Wow. The deadly shortages will likely hit sooner than that, which is why every day Trump does not utilize the act will likely be another day of healthcare rationing that will lead directly to large numbers of deaths. The number of confirmed cases in New York alone has exploded more than 20,000, with 125 having already died. And Cuomo warned that his hospitals will likely need an additional 15,000 to 34,000 ventilator equipped intensive care unit beds in the days ahead. You would think that being that Trump came from New York would be his priority. You are from New York. You were born there. You would think that would be a priority to him. It's not. It's not. The lobbyists and people that bring the money is more important to him. Never forget that. Never forget that. So these governors, instead of getting the equipment they need, they are out here competing against each other to get the little crumbs they can get for their states. And Trump is not helping. He says it's not his place to help them get equipment and the necessities that are needed. And I say, as the leader of this country, it is your responsibility. It is. Put all the politics aside and help the people. That's the only thing this man should have on his mind, but it's not. These governors are begging for help. I was wondering, I never saw governors so much before in my life as I do now. I understand, but they're in the forefront because they are getting zero help from this administration as far as all of the medical needs being met in their state. And it definitely should not be this way. But y'all, please tell me what you think about Trump refusing to help governors begging for equipment for their states. Wow, what a disgrace. What a shame. What a travesty. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace, family.